Thank you very much, Reverend Geis. That was very, very kind of you. And I thank all of you for coming out today in this weather to hear a guy like me speak, you know, go figure. But I really thank you very, very much. My message has changed a little bit. I added a few more P's to it. You know, it's about a passionate purpose, a plan and prayer and patience and perseverance equal prosperity. And that's what I would like to talk to you about power, prayer, and the little people, the youth, our kids. You know, in Matthew's 18th chapter, 14th verse, God tells us, it is not the will of our Father who is in heaven that one of these little ones should perish. You know, and we've all been one of those little ones. I'd like to share a little bit about my life growing up, because one of those P's is also our problems, and sometimes our problems can be our passport to prosperity. It's an amazing thing. And I know we all have problems, and we have to thank God for our problems. You know, when I was growing up, I stuttered. I had bumps all over my face. I couldn't talk. Like, what did you ask a question? I mean, I just couldn't talk. Sometimes I couldn't talk for a minute almost. And the kids in this class, you know, they would laugh. They thought it was funny. They would roll out, you know. Sometimes kids in elementary school, they'd grab their stomach. They would laugh at my teacher and say, "Stop it now, stop it!" And, but you know what happened to me was that by me stuttering, I had to take speech therapy. I was required to be in speech therapy. And our speech therapy teacher hosted an Optimist Club, an oratorical contest by an Optimist Club. So an Optimist Club hosted an oratorical contest that I participated in, and every year I participated. And then one year I won. I won the oratorical contest, and I found out when I got in front of people, I didn't really stutter as much. So by me winning the oratorical contest, I ran for class presidency, and I became the president of my class. So my problem and my prayer and my prayers got me the presidency. Now that's a wonderful thing, but that's not all. And I was very, very poor growing up. When I say poor, I mean it was very poor. I got set outdoors. And it's, you know, it's really something to get set outdoors because everybody come and watch you. You know, and they're over there in little groups and you wonder, boy, what are they thinking about? But you know, I said, I do not want to be poor, you know. But by me getting set outdoors and by me being very poor, it developed in me a passion that I wanted to be successful. I wanted prosperity. And you know, I remember being on the curb, and I was just crying one day. I said, if I ever get out of this place, I'm going to come back one day and help little kids like me. I thought that I didn't ever want to grow up. I just want to be a kid. I'm just going to fight for us the rest of our life. Because you know, in my community, where I grew up in the hood, I'm Herbert from Herbert Street. Scotland and Warren area. And people, anybody around that place? All right. So, you know, Reverend Geis, you know, people, they would move out of the hood. And they would move into a place called Northwest Detroit. I had never been to that place, but look at some of the names they had. Roselawn, Cherry Lawn, Green Lawn. I was thinking there must be roses up and down the street. I just imagined how would it feel to live on Cherry Lawn. But there was one little thing about it. They would never come back to the community and help us. And so I said, I'm going to come back one day and redevelop my community. And so here again, I had a burning desire, so I talked to my pastor. His name was Reverend Jennings. There's a lot of Jennings in the city right now. And I would tell him, I'd say, you know, I want to be wealthy. I want to be prosperous. And he would say, Kirk, you can't be rich. He just kept telling me I couldn't be rich. He would say, it's harder for the camel to enter the eye of the needle And he just preached on that, and really one day I sat at an appointment with him, and I said, why? You know, and he said, okay. You know, he finally gave in and gave me permission to seek wealth. You know, I was 12 years old, 12, 13, 14. And so I was selling vodka products, I was waxing cars, I was shoveling snow. I mean, I was really at it. But one day my pastor died. And then, so the church prosperity didn't have a prosperity consciousness. And I said, you know, I got to get out of this place. So I said, I'm going to find me a church that had a prosperity consciousness. And I actually landed at Christian Science. And so I became a student of Christian Science for about 5 years. And during that time, it was great. I joined Bowers. I was 19 years old. I waxed Mrs. Bowers and Mr. Bowers' car. I convinced him, and they had some nice drop-top Cadillacs. So that was really cool. So I waxed him. I did a really good job. And I said, I still studied. So I would like I want to sell real estate. And Mrs. Bowers said, okay, I'll let you do it. She said, but here's the deal. She says to me that I had to do a listing once a day, one listing a day. I said, okay. So that first day I went out and I got 2 listings. That was really good. And every day I would go out and hit it and I would get a listing. You know, it was so much fun because at the end of the month I fell short. I had 24 or 28 listings. And I said, gee, I didn't quite make it. I didn't realize. So she was listening. When I went in the back and saw the listings on the board, gee, there was only about 50 in the whole office and I had half of it. So she fooled me into success. That was a wonderful thing. So, you know, but it's a burning desire that gets us there. A passionate purpose in life. And it was created because I was poor. So I went on and I started Strather, Associates in Strather, Varner, and I didn't have any money. So, I mean, I had some money, you know, but not money. So I went in and started buying apartment buildings. I bought a 20 unit on Sussex and Finkel. I bought 190 units on Myers. I bought 377 units on Evergreen and 7 Mile Road, and I bought maybe half the buildings in all of Northwest Detroit without a penny. Now think about this. If I had money, I would have never been able to figure out how to buy the properties without cash. But because I didn't have any money, I had to figure out how to do it. So, you know, when I think about my life and I said, well, it all come together for a purpose. So God has a purpose for us, for all of us. One thing about it, we all have problems. But what do we do with our problems? Do we turn our problems into opportunities and really go for it? Well, you know, I have a debt to Optimist International. A debt I can never repay. Because it took a little kid like me from the hood and gave me a shot at the good life. And he gave me a philosophy of life, you know. And I have, how many optimists I have in the house? Because, man, thank you, optimists. This is a wonderful thing, you know. It's a wonderful thing to be an optimist. And because it's guided me and gave me a great philosophy in life. So I know the Optimist Creed by heart. But I want to tell you a little bit about how I came here to Unity. In my mind, I thought one day I would revisit the place. This is a very warm place, and I came to Unity here. So when I was in Christian Science, you know, it was, I didn't take medicine, you know, I was mental, and it was a great place for prosperity, there's no question about it. But there was a problem. There was an issue that I had because everybody looked like Mary Baker Eddy. And I was 22 years old, you know, I was early 20s, and I was thinking, hell, I'm never going to get married. So anyway, I decided I better come somewhere where I could meet a nice lady. So I met my wife here, my first wife. I'm in church now. My first wife here. So I met her right around in the center right there, and I was sitting next to her, and it was a wonderful thing. And so it has a lot of very warm feelings for me. But another thing that connected was that the church across the street was a Christian Science church. It was the second church of Christ Science. So I was able they wanted to sell it. I was able to put together a deal because I knew the Christian Scientists, I knew people, and I was able to put together a deal and for Unity. And back then it was around 1980. And I made a commitment too because I said, hey, I'm going to make a donation. Well, 1980 came, and I had me $25 million worth of real estate. I was 20-something years old. It was pretty cool. But interest rates went to 20%. And can you imagine, everything was tied to pride? It went from 8% to 20%. But you know what? Here's another blessing. If you were born poor and you started off with nothing, I said, hey, I still got a Cadillac. So, a lot of people, when they get into trouble, they go jump off a bridge somewhere. Well, not me, because look where we started from. We started with nothing, and we just count the blessings, and I was an optimist. Forget about the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future. I had a philosophy of life. This was a wonderful thing. So anyway, one of my lawyers, his mom was a pastor at Unity too, and they had a big hole in the ground. And they said, will you please help us build this church? It was Westside Unity, so I went over. They had raised money already. They had a capital campaign and there were pledges, and they had raised the money, but they didn't know how to do it. So because of my experience, I was able to put it together, and the church was built. Maybe a couple of years afterwards, we had the church built. And I really wanted to help churches to get involved because don't forget about that little commitment I made when I was a little kid, that I'm coming back to my community. So I met Pastor Adams over at Hartford, and then I put together all the stuff on 7 Mile, from the Kentucky Fried Chicken to McDonald's to the Kmart at 7 Mile, and I put together all of that stuff, Hartford office building, and I built the Optimist Clubs there, and I was hanging around there. But I never forgot about the commitment also that I made many, many, many years ago on the property across the street. And I said, I'll be back one day. So today is that day. And I'm very, very thankful so much to be invited here, because there's some issues that I'm wrestling with right now. Now, let me tell you this here. So, the years between 1990 and 2007 was very good years. I created the casino. We made 100 people $1 million. I mean, it was just a wonderful thing. And I gave away millions of dollars to kids and youth and 3,100 scholarships, and it was a very, very good life. But then there was a great recession. And then I refused to default. But if you've got $100 million worth of development going on and you're spending $200,000 and $300,000 a month negative on interest, you could lose your money. When all the smoke clears, I was $20 million under. I dropped $90 million. And you know what? I didn't go jump off the bridge, Herbert, guys. I went on the radio. I went on Mason's show. Anybody listen to Mason? I went on Mason's for 2 weeks. I tell you what, I'm 20 million under. It's like, not 20 million under, I just made sure they was under. I said, but I've been to this movie before, because I had 1980. I had $25 million worth of real estate in smoke clear, and I was a fraction of that. So anyway, I said, but this time I'm going to take other people with me. So I created Strather Academy, and the purpose of Strather Academy is to create the next generation of developers, to create the next generation of people that would redevelop our community. And so I feel well prepared right now, because right now our community and our city is in crisis. And that's what I dropped by to talk to you about today. Can you imagine? Detroit, if you will, is the #1 place to invest in the world in terms of actual equity. Now, our real estate is psychologically depressed. It's not really depressed, because how could rents be $1,000 and yet the prices of real estate is 40 and 50% off? Theoretically, how is that possible? Plus, interest rates are very, very low. Well, the fact of the matter is that the banks get reimbursed, so they don't care what you're selling for. Now, they're not going to always get reimbursed. See, the moon, the stars, and the sun, it is lined up to create a financial stairway to heaven, to financial freedom, should I say. But it moves. Is this an election year? At the end of this year, next year, the banks might not be reimbursed. Then prices are going to rise to where they normally should be. There is great demand in real estate. I have never seen so many people seeking real estate, and yet prices are low. It's theoretically impossible because demand itself and supply determine what the price is, but that's not true right now. Well, what is amazing is that Detroit, largest African American population in the United States, majority homeowners, are now mostly renters. And we will not extract the equity in our community. Can you believe it? That we got billions of dollars and we're walking around kind of like brain dead. We will not extract the equity in our community. We let others come here and eat our lunch. Now that is really something. Well, we should be extracting this equity for ourselves, our future, our family, and our finances. Now truthfully, not everybody, and there are some involved. There's people in this church right now involved, and they're investing, and some of them are students. And I've taught many of them how to, of course, buy real estate without putting up cash, just because that's the only way I know how to do it. And they've taken their tools, and it's not necessarily cash, credit, and collateral, because I didn't have that. They have a cell phone, a computer, and a car with gas. They find the deals, structure the deals, and they own the deals. Theoretically, right now, you can buy real estate and take cash out. You can buy it for $40,000 and put a $70,000 mortgage on it and take cash out and own the property. A $70,000 mortgage at 4 or 5% is nothing but $350 a month. Principal and interest, taxes and insurance, $600, you're renting for $1,000. You can take $30,000 out and have a $400 or $500 cash flow without putting up cash. Now, doesn't that make sense? Yeah. So, but that's not all. And that's not even the main thing. That's one of the things. Right now, they say that Detroit area is in the last place in STEM, in STEM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. Last place in the United States. Now look at this, if you will. We're in last place. And they have a STEAM center up in Lansing. There's someone that disperses the money, the STEM or STEAM. I tell you something. They have a surplus every year. They don't even use it. Can you imagine that we're in last place? We have a group of adults in the city that will not champion the kids, that will not even go up and get the money. As you think that's something. I have something else I want to tell you. There's 1,000 foster kids. Kids, 1,000 of them a year that are aging out. That means they age out. There's 17 and 18. They age out. And out of the 1,000, 700 in 12 months is either in jail, they're on drugs, they're homeless, or they're dead. Pastor, can I have both of these? Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry, but so the state have funds available, and we as a people, we're smart. We can help our kids. We can save our kids. Everybody here in this room, we all have problems. But we can take and harness our problems into our potential and use that to help our kids. We can go out and get grants. We can have foster homes and adopt the kids so they would have a better life. But can you imagine that a group of people would let 700 kids perish a year? I made a commitment as a little kid. And I don't have a choice, but I came by here today to ask you something. Martin Luther King said, if we're not willing to die for something, if we're not willing to live, if we don't deserve to live, I want to ask you something. Is there something you found out that you will die for? Besides your kids? Besides your favorite one? But is there something that you are willing to go all the way for? I don't have a choice. I made a commitment as a little kid that I would never give up. And I would die right now for kids. And you know, you have to be careful you say that, because God just may say, okay, your time is here. But I'm ready. And I just came here to tell you that we've got to engage in ourselves. And where does it start? It can start right here in Unity. Right here in Unity. So these last few minutes, I would like to say, you know, our problems with a prayer and a plan and patience and perseverance is prosperity, is a solution. But what do you call a situation where you got a problem and without a plan? You understand? We've got to develop a plan. So today after service, I'm going to be downstairs, and we're going to, and Pastor said that I could do a little seminar. And there are 3 things that I want to talk about, and maybe some of you would be interested in redeveloping the community. So maybe some of you would be interested in taking the building across the street and creating a STEAM center out of it. Let's take that building, and I would like to help lead the way, Pastor, to make that happen.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So after service, I would like to see you for the future of our kids. And you know, we got the power to do this. Now I hear a sermon here, and then I'm going to sit down after this. But I want you to do something for me. I had a sermon here that's always resonated with me my whole life, since leaving. And a speaker came and they asked us, and I was in the audience where you are, and he was saying that we got the power. He said, all you have to do is ask your father. Now, if you was falling out of a tree, and your father was around, you would say, Father, I'm falling. You say, Father! Yeah. You would say, Father! You would holler for your father! We're in that situation right now. We have the power to change lives. We have the power to rescue our kids. We just have to call on our Father, and I want you to do me a favor. When I say 3, I want you to sing to the top of your voice, Father! 1,